Welcome back, YouTubers and Madden fans. This is MADDENMONEYSHOT, sniffing out the Madden cheese as always. Today I got a video for you guys on how to run the ball in Madden 20. The game just came out, so I wanted to put out a video basically breaking down what's the best run moves to make this year. I mean, in previous years, it pretty much alternates flips every other year between the spin move and the juke move. A couple years back, it was the stop, or it was like the stutter step. You know, every year is a different move that's really a dominant move, and I'm going to go over that in this video today. I'm using the Raiders book just so you guys know. I'm using the Panthers because I really like Chris McCaffrey. But the first thing I'm going to do, if I really have my intentions to run the ball a lot, I want to set up my audibles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into the play, and then you can see at the bottom there you got certain options. You got random play, subs, audibles, flip. Obviously, I'm going to hit the LT button so that I can basically pick out my audibles. And when I'm picking out audibles, I want to have a good selection. You don't want to have all 4 run plays, but you could. I mean, if you're really into running the ball like that, certain situations where you have no intention of passing, like fourth quarter, late in the game, you're up in the game or something like that. There's plenty of scenarios where you could do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my pass plays. Since this is a running video, I guess I'll do all 4. So basically, you can see I have a run play going right up the center, and then if I go to my audibles, I have one going basically over to the guard, over to the tackle, outside the tackle, and then going all the way out. Not every formation is going to have plays for all these scenarios, which is one of the reasons I picked this one. But that's how you want to kind of set it up. You want to be able to change your launch point depending on where you see the hole. Like I can tell you right now, the biggest hole and the biggest advantage I see is going to be from the power O. Now, I don't run the power O this way. I'm not going to run it in that direction. I'm going to flip it and run it to where the red box is, where it's telling me don't, Madden's telling me don't run it that way. But I know from experience that this is definitely the best way to go. So what I'm going to do, the way this play works is he's going to kick out, and that's basically where I'm shooting for that gap. You can see I got a nice big hole right there between the defensive end and the tackle. So that's where I want to find my audible to aim it. So let's just go ahead and let's run it one time. Like I said, I mean, I got a couple yards. It didn't necessarily work out like I was hoping, but that's okay. It's not always gonna work that way. Like right here, now I got a cover 3 safety. It looks like he's coming into blitz. So obviously my best scenario, I'm gonna look for. I call it gaps and leverage. I'm surveying the inside for gaps, which I have one. I got a big one right where the power O play was again. But obviously, since that defender's right there, that cover 3 safety's right there, that's not the best option. So my next thing that I'm going to scan for is leverage. Do I have outside leverage anywhere? And I definitely don't have it on the weak side. That cover 3 safety's taking that away big time. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try to get some leverage to the other side, which when Olsen chips off and hits that linebacker, I'm going to get that outside leverage. So let's go ahead and let's run it this way. This is obviously the best place to run the ball. Still only got 5 yards, but you know what? I'll take that all game if that's what I can get. That's really simple and basic. Just breaking this play down again, right off the bat, I can see I have a I have a linebacker over here on the outside of my blocking, so I know that's not the best place to go. I'm not going to go over there. I'm going to go to the opposite direction, which would be, once again, the stretch is a really safe play. The tosses aren't necessarily, they can get blown up because of all the pulling linemen, where a stretch will just, they'll hold their blocks and they'll help you get to the edge. So here we go. Finally get a nice run play. Didn't quite have the speed to get outside, but it's that simple. It's a really simple setup. Like right here. I mean, we're getting a lot of scenarios where the stretch is the best call. But, I mean, stretch plays are pretty good. So, there we go. I outrun my blocker, which brings me to my next point, the importance of, how to use your blockers and how to direct your blockers. So, basically, you saw me make the cardinal sin, which is outrunning your blockers. Sometimes it's a good call, but rarely is it the right call. So, here, on this play, this is a different play that I ran off camera, where I'm essentially going to show the correct way to use your blocker. Now, luckily, that fullback got a nasty block. You're not typically going to get that lucky. But basically, you can see the gap. I could destroy this block. If I run, if I don't use it properly, to a certain extent, I set that up. I mean, I could be making the mistake and sprinting wide. If I was sprinting wide instead of, trying to use that gap right there, I would easily blow that block up for my fullback, and he would just get outside leverage and take me down. I should back up a little bit here. I could easily mess this play up. I mean, if I was trying to sprint outside, if I wasn't showing patience and running across my blockers' backs, which is essentially what you got to do. You really have to, watch your blockers. Like I said, even my linemen, I have to basically align myself across, I call it across their butt. And I don't know if that's an actual football term, but I'm basically trying to aim across my blockers' backsides. Which is going to be why I run up in between this fullback here. So like I said, if I ran outside, I could ruin that play easily, but I'm just going to run across his back. He gets a perfect block, and now I have to set up my, you know, I have one guy chasing me here, which I have to be aware of. So I can't run inside. If I try to run inside, I'm going to get a lot less. If I try to go right up that hole there, try to out sprint my blocker once again, which would be number 10. He's my last blocker that I have. I'm going to only get like maybe 5 more yards. But if I want to get a big run, I have to keep my finger off of the sprint button and basically just run across his back once again. As you can see right there, I basically set him up for success because I see that I have to close the gap. I have to get to this point right here where I place my blocker. You know what I mean? I placed my blocker there. It wasn't by coincidence. I placed him there by getting my putting the ball carrier in between, you know, running behind him to the point where the defender, where he's in between me and the defender. It's not by luck and chance. This setting these plays up properly really are on you. They're not like, oh well, this guy has a 99 block. It's nothing to do with that. It's really more to do with you putting the blockers in the position to succeed. And like I said, if I would have ran inside, if I just took it up, I'm trying to work this camera. If I would have just said, oh, I'm going to take these couple yards quick and easy and just took it inside, there's no way in hell that this blocker would help me. Because essentially, I would just give this defender inside leverage. Obviously, this guy would tackle me pretty quickly. But like I said, I know that I have an opportunity to get outside if I just run across my blocker's back. So now we're going to use that principle on an inside run. The 94 will is a unique play in the matter that the fullback kind of goes one way and the running back goes another way. But by no means does that mean that I'm not supposed to use that fullback as a lead blocker. I'm still supposed to use that fullback as a lead blocker. It's just a different type of run play. If I take this run, you know, right up the center there, I might get 2 yards, 3 yards before I get tackled because of the angle that I'm currently at. There's no way that if I run straight that I'm not going to get tackled by one of 2 defenders. There's an open defender here, and there's an open defender right here in front of me. So if I run it straight ahead, I might get 2 yards. You know what I mean? And I'll probably get laid out. But I still have to use this fullback. So what am I going to do? Same principles apply. I'm going to cut across his backside. So when I see him, cut across, and sure enough, there he is taking the play out. So it's real simple. I mean, it doesn't look simple as it seems, but that's really all it is. I'm just waiting for him to lay his block, and this is essentially like a trap play to an extent. And then I get, you know, close to 10 yards, maybe a little bit more. It's a really, really easy principle to use, whether it's an inside run or an outside run. And now, last but not least, I'm going to go over basically run moves, the best run moves. Every year it changes. Whether last year to me was probably the spin move and was a little bit overpowered, so EA decided to tone that back. This year to me, it's definitely the juke move, and I'm gonna show you. Last year, or at least when the juke move was overpowered, it was pretty much the same one every time. You had to either hold the left stick. Sorry, not the left stick, the left trigger, L2 for PlayStation users, and you had to hit the right stick to the left. It didn't matter which direction you wanted to go. It just that particular move had more of an effect than hitting the right stick to the right. So to me, it was simple. Pretty much every time I would just do that same juke. Here it's a little bit different. As you can see right here, I get a really specific animation by juking this guy last second. You can see I basically swat his arm away. I'm doing the juke right, which, like I said, wasn't the way in the past. You could typically use the same juke over and over and over and over and over, and it would essentially have the same effect. It would just basically scramble the brains of the defender. This year, you really have to juke in the right direction. So here I decide I'm going to juke right because I'm trying to go right. As you can see, I hold LT pretty much every time. Hit the the L2 or the left trigger button, and then I juke to the right, and you can see how I make that miss. I also juke back left because I'm trying to get, I was trying to get outside, which essentially is like a nice little double juke here. But that's, I probably should have sprinted. I would have got tackled either way because it slows you down. Some jukes slow you down more than others based off of how much the defender gets a hold of you. Another play, like I said, you can't just do the cure-all juke anymore. So I have to get right. I'm going to wait for this guy basically to get within hit stick distance. Like I said, the closer the better. The closer they get, the more effective the juke will be. And it's not it's not an overly dramatic animation because I wait till I got so close. So I don't really lose a lot of acceleration, which is why I have the ability to turn upfield. So I'm essentially, like I said, waiting till I'm basically what I would call in the pocket. That's like a boxing term. Wait till I get this guy in the pocket, into a breakdown, and then I'm just going to hold LT, hit right on the stick, and I just go right around him. Like I said, I tried to, I definitely got tackled right around by 3 people, but that's going to be, to me, without a doubt, that's how you make your defenders miss this year. You have to juke, and you have to juke in the right direction. Hold the LT button. If the guy's coming to you and you want to go right, you got to juke right. If he's coming to you and you want to go left, you got to juke left. There's no cure-all juke anymore. Now we got some spin moves. I just find that for some players the spin move is not very, you have to really wait till they're right on top of you. I'm holding LT. Essentially with the spin move, you know, if I want to turn up field, like the juke move, I feel like it's more dramatic and it'll make more defenders miss. But the spin move is a little bit better to turn up field. So once again, I wait till he's in the pocket, hit him with the spin, and like I said, it's not very dramatic. I didn't move very far. You'll see in some juke moves, I really like, if you're using Tariq Cohen like who I have on my MUT team, he'll juke move like 4 or 5 yards in a direction. But you can see the spin move is definitely effective. And like I said, I mean, Chris McCaffrey obviously has a 93 spin move, so it's pretty high. And then you can see I did again. I didn't get tackled again. I mean, that once again, like my stamina was probably down, which is probably why it was less dramatic. But you can see he's going to tackle me. I get him with another spin moves, and then obviously there's people all over me. But you know, to me, I mean, the spin move it's decent, and I still use it from time to time. But without a doubt, the juke move, it's just going to be a lot easier. For one thing, to maneuver inside, the juke move is going to do more for you, whether you're trying to bounce in and out of you know, multiple defenders. But if you get one guy at a sideline, the spin move is pretty good. If you have a defender, a running back with a high spin move, you know, don't discount it. So know what your running back has. If he has a better spin move than juke, or if he has a better juke than spin move, you know, you might want to use what they're best at. So here we had a run play. I'm just running run plays so I can go to the replay screen. It's a little bit easier than talking about it while I'm doing it. Here I got a good play where I actually made a combination of both. Now my X factor was active, so that I might have had a part to do with it. But you can see right here, I have two guys. I have two defenders right here. Obviously the X factors are going to be key. You're going to want to get them pumped up. Basically I have 3 defenders in the area, no blockers. I've outrun my blockers, which like I said is a critical mistake. But since I'm trying to get one-on-one so I can create this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the spin move again, and watch this. He breaks through both of them, which like works out perfectly considering. I'm gonna show that a little bit closer. He basically breaks the first dude, other dude over pursues, and then I'm like right behind the blocker, which was like so nice that blocker came through and made that happen. But I mean, like I said, the spin move, especially pretty much any move once the X factor's on, is gonna be that much better. So that's it. That's the video. You know, like I said, to recap real quick. Look for gaps in leverage when you come to the line of scrimmage. Use your blockers by essentially either cutting across their back or running towards the defender that you want them to block. And then essentially at the end, I went over the juke moves and the spin moves, which to me were both pretty good. And then, you know, but it really depends on what your running back is capable of. So that's it. If you guys want to see more videos like this, more tip videos like this, do me a favor, hit the like button. I'll do that next. Other than that, thanks for watching MADDENMONEYSHOT out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.